be the United States or China. Currently, 80% of global demand for data centers is happening in these two countries. We're up against a country that doesn't care about the environment, human rights, doesn't care about intellectual property rights. We've got to have a set of rules in the United States that are going to allow us to compete and allow us to win this global race. The Trump administration is exactly right. They have put an AI czar in place. They've got executive orders in place and aggressively pursuing a reversal of the flawed Biden administration energy policies to ensure that we can power these in a way that's reliable and affordable. We can win this race, but it's going to take this administration continuing to prioritize. They've been doing a great job so far.
And that is AI Infrastructure Coalition co-chairman Garrett Graves with me earlier, along with Kirsten Sinema, former Arizona senator, joining me on AI as the Trump administration works to dominate this AI race against China. The American Edge Project releasing a report on the race for global AI supremacy, finding it will cost America $7 trillion in critical infrastructure by 2030. The report finds the U.S. currently leads the race with over 14 million chips and 87 data centers compared to China's 4.6 million chips and 39 data hubs. But let's get into it with American Edge Project CEO Doug Kelly. Doug, good to see you. Thanks very much for joining us. We want to know more about what you're expecting here and what this cost is going to be for the U.S. in order to win.
Yeah, look, you know, thanks for having me, first of all, today. Secondly, we are in a bare knuckle fight with China for AI leadership. And, you know, the good news is we're ahead narrowly right now. But look, we're not positioned for long-term leadership in this. And there's 4 reasons why. First, in energy, right? The country that produces the most energy is going to win the AI race. Secondly, other factors are you need really strong chips, you need a lot of data centers. Third, you need a really talented workforce, but also a lot of skilled labor to build and maintain the data centers. And fourth, you want to make sure that your AI is being adopted aggressively both at home and abroad. Now, our study finds that we're breaking with you today is that on those 4 factors, China is ahead of America in 3 of them, and pretty sizably ahead. And it matters that America wins this AI race because whichever country wins this race is going to get decades of national security advantages, economic prosperity advantages, and advantages in terms of influence around the globe. So it's tough medicine, but we know we can win. We just got to be determined to build.
So I don't understand. What is China winning in 3 of these 4? What are you saying?
Sure. Yeah, in energy, right? Let's start with that. Energy is the deciding factor of who's going to win the AI race. And when you compare the 2 countries, for the last 15 years, China has invested hundreds of billions of dollars in its energy infrastructure, right?
Okay.
As a result, they can generate twice as much electricity as we can today. They're going to add 60% more power over the next 3 decades. And when they look at AI and its different energy challenges, they consider that a solved problem. In the meantime, in the U.S., we're going to have this huge surge of demand, not just for AI, but for reindustrialization along President Trump's agenda, for EVs. And our grid is outdated, fragmented, and underinvested in, right? And most of it was built in the 50s and 60s. So we are not able to meet that moment on the energy side. Similarly, on the talent side, right? Go ahead.
Yep.
Well, I'll just say on the talent side, right? We have at least a 2 million person shortfall in the industries that are going to help decide who wins this, right? That ranges from everything to AI experts to plumbers, pipe fitters, electricians, cybersecurity experts. And those are jobs that you can't turn around and fill quickly, right? You don't create 250,000 electricians overnight.
Sure.
And so this is something that we have to take as serious as a heart attack and build and invest now.
No, you make great points. I mean, it's ridiculous that China would have more energy than America, by the way. That's ridiculous to me. I mean, I just came from the Permian Basin. We've got so much oil and gas underneath the ground, but we've had 4 years of the Biden administration stopping any of that. Trump understands all of this. And by the way, President Trump is also working on plans to issue answers to everything you just said. But I would name one other thing, and that is the way that Beijing tries to bully the world in terms of dominating the supply chains, dominating rare earths. Now, there was a story in the Journal last week that said right now China is trying to hold back rare earth minerals from any company in the U.S. that is tied to the military, which is ridiculous because that's exactly why we need the rare earths, for the military. But I asked the Treasury Secretary about it. Here's what he told me. Scott Bessent with me last week. Watch. Are you saying that you do not expect the Chinese Communist Party to hold back rare earth minerals from military-related companies in America?
I am saying the agreement is that the magnets will flow freely as they did before April 4th.
Are you expecting them to resume the purchases of soybeans, or are they going to double-cross us on that as well?
Maria, we have lots of levers, and again, they've already started the purchases of soybeans. They've agreed for this buying season to buy 12 million tons, 25 million tons for the next 3 years after that, so a total of 87 million. And then we have lots of other trade agreements that call for soybean purchases. I am confident that post our meeting in Korea between the two leaders, President Trump, President Xi, that China will honor their agreement.
So what do you think about that? I mean, look, obviously I'm skeptical because of all of these reports reminding us of China not filling its obligations. There was another shocking report finds that Chinese state lenders funneled roughly $200 billion to American businesses over the last 25 years, allowing China to gain access to this critical U.S. technology and infrastructure and data information. The Washington Post reported that Chinese banks also handed out tens of billions in loans to help Chinese firms acquire American companies working on computer chips, DNA analysis, other technologies that China wants to dominate, Doug. So what about that? What is your take on how China uses these tactics to try to hold back critical elements from the U.S., and what should we be doing about it?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we wrote the report, right, is we wanted to put a red flag out there about what China's intentions are. Their goal is to become the global tech leader, and they're not leaving any tactic on the sideline in that quest for it. They're investing trillions of dollars, they're stealing hundreds of billions of dollars of our technology, and they're trying to create monopolies on rare earth metals, which are essential for different types of tech products, right? So here's the good news, Maria, is that America can win this AI race, right? We have the talent, we have the companies, and we have the can-do spirit that we showed in the space race when we won there, right? So there's three things that Congress has got to prioritize. Number one, the president has put together an amazing AI action plan. Congress needs to pass it, put it into law, and fund it because it addresses the four things that I was talking about in energy, compute, talent, and adoption. The second thing they need to do is make sure that states are clearing the way for accelerated energy development, investments in grids, so that we can have this global, have this superhighway of electricity moving across our country, because that's our limiting factor. And the final thing that Congress has got to do is they need to make sure that states are not over-regulating AI. Right now, there's 1,100 bills in state legislators to regulate AI in some way. You know, you don't win the AI Super Bowl by having 50 different playbooks, Maria. You win it by having one. And I think President Trump has put together that playbook, and it's going to be strong and effective. Now we got to work for it. So let's go. We know we can do this, and our future's at stake.
Well, I'll tell you, that is exactly what President Trump said the other day when he was talking about the fact that we can't have 50 different state plans when it comes to AI. We need one policy for the country. And look, you say China wants to dominate. I would say to you, I don't think it's going to happen on Donald Trump's watch. That's for sure, given all the efforts that I see coming out of this administration. But we'll keep a watch on it. It's certainly very critical for the nation. Doug, thank you.